Okay, so it's really nice that we have Veikko have a possibility to participate in this event, and today our topic is collaboration in design process, and we have quite specific perspective for this because we are normally working as a steel structure subcontractor in a construction project. My name is Tero Ollikainen, and I'm working as a senior manager in our global customer engineering team, and we have over 100 engineers globally working for engineering and modeling for our projects. I started my work actually approximately 25 years ago in a small structural engineering office with ink and paper, and after that I have been able to participate into this revolution of digitalization, and I think that my value for this development have been this long perspective what I have for this development. Okay, few words about Veikko for you if you don't know the company before this. Veikko was founded by a young guy over 50 years ago, Jalo Paananen, and he found out that there was no suppliers for concrete connections, precast concrete connections, and he wanted to fulfill that demand and established a company called Veikko. And the development of these concrete connections have continued ever since. 30 years ago approximately we got into slim floor and composite structures, and the main product there we have delta beam, and I think that today I'm telling more about the design process exactly this for this delta beam product. And then last but not least, approximately 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, we stepped into wind energy business, and today we have several different applications for wind turbine foundations also. Overall, the Veikko's aim is to change the building industry into more efficient. Here Veikko by numbers. As I said, it was established 1965. Today we have 11 manufacturing units and 33 sales units all over the world. And I'm glad to say that we have really nice facilities and production unit and good team in Romania also. I think that Laimonas Luitzis, our local managing director, should be participating there, so I'm a little bit jealous for you. Globally, we have over 1,800 employees, and last year turnover was 231 million euros. What we have for designers, actually this year has been nominated internally in Veikko as Year of Designer, and as we are understanding that we are providing solutions for customers, we understand also that actually designers are the key persons in construction projects to find out the best solutions for buildings. And then of course we try to provide good tools for designers to find out these good solutions. So we are providing design software for some products. Then we have wide range of technical manuals. We provide webinars, articles, instructions which can be found also from our web pages. And then of course we have this big skilled engineering team working globally, and if you contact your local contact person in Romania, you can find out that 150% behind him supporting your projects also. Then let's step into this today's topic. First, I would like to explain this kind of typical design process flow, what we have with Delta Beam product. After that, I will explain more detail different ways of doing this collaboration between different parties during the process. But everything starts from step one, from architectural scheme. I think that then structural engineer comes into the picture, and he or she needs to build up this kind of initial structural model. And I think that this is the step where the structural engineer has the biggest effect for the whole building, how economical it is, how easy it is to build, etc. And BIMcon engineers, they can participate in this stage also. I think that we definitely can bring best values from our products into this phase also. If and when we have a possibility to present Delta Beam in a building project, customer can use Delta Beam Select pre-selection tool to find out the suitable profile. But then, of course, BIMcon engineers are ready to support in this stage also. When profiles are set up, fixed, after that detailing can start, and BIMcon, if you are using BIMcon details, we have also several tools for you to find out the best solution. After this third phase, I think the geometry should be quite fixed, and BIMcon internal engineer can start his or her work. And we have an internal analysis tool to make optimization for the profile, to find out again the most economical and effective solution for your purpose. And we have Tekla Structures software for modeling purposes. When that work is done, we would like to get the confirmation from the main structural engineer that everything fits into this global design, and we can provide Tekla Structures model, IFC format file, a DVG file, and then of course analysis reports for structural engineer for testing, checking and approval. And after that, production can start. This is a linear process, but I think that in normal structural project, there is a lot of back and forth steps during an iteration during the project. Then if we go to this collaboration, traditional way has been that structural engineer has some tool to create layout drawings, details, and gives also load information for BIMcon engineer. And BIMcon then starts their own work doing this internal analysis and then creating models for manufacturing and our ERP, providing data for our ERP system. But this data is of course sent back to the customer and structural engineer for checking, and that information have been sent in this traditional method in 2D. Then a little bit opening what are the benefits and drawbacks with this system. Benefit definitely is that there's a small amount of technical barriers to do this cooperation. Practically there is none. If you have a functioning email, I think that is enough. We can transfer the data back and forth. But then challenge is data transfer between systems is done totally manually. So in this case, it is slow, labor intensive, and there is a high risk for human mistakes in both sides. When the information is sent to BIMcon and then back, this needs to be done. Second option is probably the most common today, which is changing IFC files between structural engineer and our engineer. And then structural engineer has some modeling, 3D modeling tool, Revit, Outline, Tekla, and he or she creates an IFC file out of it. It is sent to BIMcon, and BIMcon's engineer uses that as a reference in Tekla modeling, and again, after this internal analysis, all the detailing is done with Tekla, and IFC file can be sent back to structural engineer for checking and approval, and production can start. What are the benefits and drawbacks here? Now we have possibility for model cooperation, and even though we have different tools, and if we have this kind of 3D data, definitely it's more valuable than only 2D. We can get much better view for the structure overall than with 2D layout drawings and details. And it's easy and fast transfer method for geometry. There are challenges also. Unfortunately, IFC is for us only a reference. We get the geometry basically out from that. Even though I really appreciate it, it's functioning really well. But we can use today only this geometry information. That means, unfortunately, that we need to transfer the data between the systems still manually. We are doing it, changes and updates in the Tekla model manually. And it is slow, labor intensive, and there is high risk for human mistakes. With this method, we have also found out that these changes and managing erection sequences like different floors and areas of building, that is a bit challenging when we have various IFC files in use. Then to the third option, which we definitely prefer if this is possible. In this case, a structural engineer has in use Tekla structures software, and they are using a model sharing service from Trimble. And after they have made their detailing in the model, they invite BIMcon's engineer actually to be participating into that model. Model is located in cloud service actually. And there in the same model can be working actually several subcontractors and designers at the same time. Benefits and drawbacks. Now we have on-time data and updated data available all the time. That means that quality of data is good, and with quantity of data I mean that we have all structural engineer references normally in use, piping, ventilation, whatever. And then this system enables this parallel design process between all the parties, which is making the design process more fluent and agile. Unfortunately, this don't come easy and for free. What are the challenges there is that unfortunately at the moment we have only Tekla for this purpose, Tekla software, and that is not enough. Actually, the Tekla version needs to be fitting with the customer's Tekla, and also service release package needs to be the same. And from our perspective, that means that when we are working with tens of projects at the same time, we have several versions of the Tekla tool running in our computers. Additional challenge is that actually design environments needs to be fitting each other because all companies, they are adjusting their systems. They have different detailing tools, material libraries, profile libraries, parameters for the parts are different, etc. In addition to this, there are also risks for changes, conscious or unconscious, when people are working in the same model. So it needs to be planned and managed really well, that we are not conflicting each other and making problems for others. Anyhow, even though it seems that there are many challenges, this is totally doable. What this needs is that in the beginning of the project, all the participants need to sit down, especially if this is the first cooperation project between the parties, and agree or go through the details that all the systems are fitting, and then agree how the design process should go, and plan it well and manage it well. And after that, all the benefits are definitely available. Then some learning point which I want to highlight from our development process, what we have done during the past 5 years with Tekla. This is probably a message that you have heard earlier, but repetition is never bad thing. Here is one example of one study, Berkeley University study, and we can see that they present that this unbearable easiness of information flow which BIM gives us, it leads to digital revolution, and that leads to process revolution. Unfortunately, there's realities like this. I agree with Arto Kiviniemi from Liverpool University that if you buy a BIM software, it is like buying membership in the fitness club. Having the card in your pocket does not make you fit. And it is exactly like this with BIM tools. Actually, I think that the effect may be even negative if you don't make any changes in your processes. You complicate the work, probably add the amount of work, so quality and speed will go down, and there are no benefits. So what is needed? This revolution needs BIM tools plus lean process. And it means that you need to look openly how your design processes are running. You just can't copy the old way of doing the work, but probably you need to combine some tasks, you need to separate some tasks, change responsibilities between the people, and then we get these results. And I think that in BIMcon we have learned this also a little bit hard way. We tried to copy the old system, but I would say that quite fast we started to learn and change, adjust our system to find out these benefits. And today I would say that our design process is definitely faster and more cost effective, and quality is better than it was earlier. In addition to this, actually it is more motivating system for our internal persons as it was earlier. In the beginning, the resistance was quite big for the change, but today it's totally opposite. And I see that our teams, they are really motivated when they can be doing this kind of close cooperation with other design parties, and the feeling to be involved with the building project, that is more visible than it was earlier. But that was from my side. I think that all for today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I just wanted to ask you a quick question regarding the collaborative process inside your company. Do you think that I don't know, is it a way to create a collaborative process between two companies that are working on the same project, even if they would be I don't know, they could be bidding on the same project at one point, but do you think BIM helps you collaborate with your competitors when you need to do that?
Yeah, especially this option 3. I think that then we get the most out of these benefits. But of course, this IFC cooperation is already a step further, I would say. We get much better vision about an overall for the project than we got earlier. But this third option where we are actually able to work parallel, and actually we can change also other data. We can utilize actually this customer modeling work already, which is reducing the work a lot. And when we go back to send the information back for the customer, I think that they just need to check that everything is correct and not conflicting with other parts. So we don't have this kind of data transfer stage at all, or there's no work needed for this kind of data transformation. So those are really big benefits, and they are making the process faster. And I would say that these risks of human errors, they have been reduced a lot when we don't need to make this kind of repetitive work and model from system to another. Hopefully that answered.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If anyone has any questions in the audience, don't forget to ask questions on Facebook and YouTube in our chat, and we can ask our guests those same questions. Thank you, Mr. Tero. See you soon.
Okay, see you and have a nice event. Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Thank you.